are live. Welcome in, everybody, to another edition of a chainEDGE educational series, but also Q&A. So ask any questions if you'd like. Okay, perfect. If you're unfamiliar, what chainEDGE does is oh my God. chainEDGE streams the top 0.01% of DEX traders' activity. So it's perfect for DEX token trading. We have a automated P&L algorithm that auto excludes one-hit wonders. They have to have a certain number of wins, and we segment these traders based on how they make their money. So that's between snipers who buy in the first X number of minutes, early movers who are buying in the first 24 hours, and then gem spotters who buy a little bit older tokens. Today we're going to go over some cool things you can do with the platform and answer any questions. We have a lot of newcomers that are just signed up for the platform, so this will also help them a lot. As always, ask any questions in the chats on either Twitter or YouTube. I think both are live and working. It's meant to be a Q&A. I don't want to yap the whole time, so any questions are appreciated. So first and foremost, you are looking at the site right now. Our smart money is indeed smart. You can see right on our homepage which tokens have made the most money for our smart traders. Things like Mubi with a $5 million of P&L, Pork, SAVM, Grok, Peas, Pandora at 2.4 million. It's going to end up a lot higher here soon enough. And even if you look at our most popular tokens by number of smart money holders, things like Banana plus 87% over the last 30 days, OLAS, Tau, MND, AGRS, VDO, and even Beam, all of them up only. So how can you surface these signals yourself? That's what we're going to go through and then answer Q&A as it comes up. So I'm going to go through the 3 easiest workflows for people that aren't already chainEDGE power users or people that are online 24/7, because a lot of what they do is they just sit on our alpha stream, which is just live swaps of the top traders and what they're doing, and it's highly customizable, but we'll touch on that in a second. So what are the 3 easiest workflows? Well, one, you can just easily see what smart money's buying or selling. That doesn't give you a lot of context, but you can filter these by token age. So if you're looking for tokens that are 10 days old or less, because there's obviously a lot of money to be made in that time frame, you can see where the buys are and where the sells are. What I like to do each day is take a spin through what new launches came out over the last 24 hours. How many of them were able to crack 1 million, which kind of shows the overall strength or health in the new launch market. And then, we look at this in a number of ways. So how many smart buys there were and how many wallets, and then the 1-day retention, which is basically measuring, okay, did they just buy and flip, or are they actually, did they not sell their tokens? And it's a pretty good barometer of a quality launch if this is higher. As you can see, nothing really stands out over the last 24 hours. Most of these haven't really held up that well. And Ape-In was the strongest, but again, hasn't done super well. The other thing you can do if you really have no time is you can read our daily research, which is on the right-hand side, which I write and I summarize interesting things that are going on from what I see across the data. So that's kind of step one, is just getting up to speed on, okay, where are the flows what new launches happen? Should I be researching any of these if they had high enough retention that make it interesting, etc. From there, I like to use a combination of our alpha stream and our alert system. So the alpha stream is really cool because you can filter not only by our wallet types. So again, I talked about these a little bit, but snipers, are buying. They generated, the way we segment these is on their P&L behavior. So what are they good at? Not what they are, but what are they good at? So snipers are buying tokens in the first, we categorize it as 20 minutes, but most times it's, in the first couple minutes of a token's life cycle. Early movers have the highest octane returns because they buy in the first 20 minutes to 24 hours and they move in bigger size. So these guys will be aping half an ETH if it's a little sketchy, an ETH if it's less sketchy, or if it's something like a Pandora, ASTX, some of these higher quality new launches, you'll see them dropping 10K, 14K, etc. The alpha stream auto updates, so you see the swaps as they come in across these groups, and gem spotters obviously trade tokens that are 1 day old or more. I typically like to run some quick filters. So tokens less than 10 days old, I like early movers. So I toggle early movers and I look for 200K P&L. And let's say they're aping, what's half an ETH now? Say something more than half an ETH. And you can go through and see, okay, pretty light movements other than this guy aping into ape in pretty heavily with more than 80 grand of buys into ape in on base. And that's another cool thing. If you're unaware, we have data cross-chain for all EVM chains that people actually use, and then Solana data coming in less than 2 months. So this is one way to look at this workflow, but you can also get this via alert. So if I go to an alert that is roughly similar, when you're setting these up, you can create an alert and you can get it right to Telegram. So if you're on the go, you don't have all day to just sit on the alpha stream like some people do. You can just get these sent to your Telegram, where you can manipulate your alerts based on number of wallets that traded before I want to signal, the token age, the minimum P&L, the trader type. You can manipulate these by FDV if you want. A lot of things like that. So if I look through some of these that have already come through, these are some a little bit older examples, but this is my more degen banger, right? So it has a P&L threshold, only ping me after 3 wallets hit it, and the minimum transaction is around half an ETH. This pinged on Sora, which it pinged at 3.8 million FDV. That's now 18, 19 million, so a 5-ish X. It pinged. Now, obviously, because you're doing degen amounts of minimum buys, you'll run into things like GM 404, which did not do well. Neither did this one. Emeralds did actually decent from this for some amount of time. I think it ran to 10 million, so you would have made a little bit of money. This was a very, very good one, Barrow Plug. I think from this alert, it almost 5x'd, if not more. So again, it's like chainEDGE is not some magic solution. You don't just get free money, but if you tweak your alerts in a way that you're comfortable with and it matches your strategy, you can find spots where it's giving you a signal very early before, this hit before anyone was talking about Barrow Plug. Now, obviously, these are all shit coins. You have to, if you're going, there's 2 sides to how you treat these, right? There's the new launch game, which can be very, very pump and dump. You have to move fast. It can't be a long-term hold unless the project is legit, and this is an example of that. Pira, I don't remember how that one did. ASTX is another example. Pinged at 7 million on this alert and went to 20 million at an all-time high. So again, examples of how with minimal time, right? You need to know how to code. You don't even have to know anything about on-chain analysis. We take care of all of that for you. We have a auto-updating database of the best traders based on P&L, number of wins, no one-hit wonders, coming in, and you can manipulate it so you don't have to spend all day looking for signals, and you can actually spend the day just researching maybe longer term bags or something. But then when one of these comes through, you can say, oh, I remember ASTX, someone talked about the new updated 404s. I should check this out. And, you would have made money on that alert. So that's workflow 2. What I think has been working best is watching smart holdings, right? So the first 2 things we kind of talked about are much more swap based. Oh, we have a question about Sol. Solana data will be here by March 1st. It'll be here. It's coming. And so you'll be able to, I think it will exist kind of in a totally different, like you just toggle on Solana and it'll be just Solana only, because it's easier to just keep the data housed in kind of one different part of the site. But anyway, so you'll be able to, have this alpha stream view, but for Solana, and the wallets will be categorized into their places. You can manipulate based on how much Sol went in. Same thing. It's going to be the traders that have made the most. If you subscribe to the premium, do you offer an alert service where you offer? So the entire site is real time. So this alpha stream is real time. It just doesn't look like it because I have all these filters on and there hasn't been that much going on. So yes. So the alpha stream itself is live, but these alerts are also real time. So you can tinker with however, so depending on what your style is, you can manipulate these alerts to get you real-time alerts. Some people will use a really open filter that basically is pinging them every time a token launches, and a certain number of people ape. A certain number of smart traders ape, let's see, for mine I use $500 or more. So if 3 wallets are aping $500 or more into something new, maybe I'll go check it out. There's obviously a lot of bad signals in there because some people are just they're playing. Oh, I meant your feedback. Oh, so you get access to the Discord. So in the Discord, we are talking about changes in narrative. It's pretty active in there. So it's not just me, it's all of the smart people that use chainEDGE are talking about different things they're seeing in the data, rotations they're seeing. People will talk about if they're kind of spending more time on centralized exchange coins versus DEX coins. But I'm in there all day long too. So the Discord is an added bonus where you can ask questions. Where people are talking about different ideas. People are reviewing tools. It's a pretty vibrant crew that is essentially chainEDGE subscriber only. But also, if that's not good enough, every single day there is a daily research write-up of just a brief overview of what I'm seeing in the data. If you see this repost via that, oh, okay. So the Discord is a place where there's a lot of value. And also there's both daily write-ups in the actual site that you'll see every day. And then there's also, I kind of do the same thing on the daily newsletter, the Daily Edge, which will also include some of my thoughts. So hopefully that answers your question. Um, must you be premium to get Discord access? Yes. So that's, in there we're talking live about the data. So we don't have some open free Discord. So it kind of, it's kind of hand in hand. So I'll be talking about the data. Other people are talking about the data. There's no need for us to have it be free. So only subscribers get the daily update. I'll post it for free some days in both the free Telegram and the Daily Edge newsletter, but it will never be as good as seeing the data live for yourself, if that makes sense. So hopefully that makes sense. Moving on, because we still haven't talked about the portfolio summary page, which has actually been the higher signal area of the site, in my opinion. So we talked about briefly how, if you look at our top 10, just by number of 1,000 plus smart, $1,000 or more smart holders, they've all been winners, right? Like, I don't know how else I can make it any more clear. Like a lot of tokens have went up, so it's not rocket science, but for our top 10, they have all performed extraordinarily well. And for almost all of them, other than Ondo, it's been outperformance versus ETH. But there's a lot of, interesting insights you can get from this page. When we actually did a live stream, it was either the last one or the one before, we talked about how we were seeing a lot of these 7 and 30-day changes into AI tokens. And this was before the entire AI meta and narrative took off. So we saw it and front runned it. It was clear in our data. I think I talked about it twice right on the live stream. It's like, man, there's a lot of AI accumulation going on here. And then lo and behold, AI gets a little goofy. But what's really cool is, so all this page is doing is giving you almost like a deck screener style page of what is smart money holding, what do their token balance changes look like, so where is accumulation and where is there not. You can kind of see rotations happening in here. You've seen things like the BRC20 tokens like Mubi have been just down only for a long time after being pretty high in terms of ownership and on the leaderboard. But let's see, what else can you see in here right now? So right now I'm filtered by just number of, I'm filtered by 10,000 holders. Let's do 5,000 holders. So this is the view for smart money holdings, right? So you can see their dollar balances based on how many smart wallets are holding 5K or more. So we can see Banana, which Banana is their favorite because we have to exclude Vault because actually a lot of these are just guys that were early and got blacklisted. Banana has been up only both in terms of price and ownership for a while within our data. Our traders really like Banana. Mind used to be a stronger outlier, but we've started to see some profit taking as it's run to 0.16 versus an average entry of 0.074. But especially on 7 and 1 day, you can look for material outliers. So one that I keep talking about is buy. So buy, I've been flagging for a couple days now. It might have even been a week, where that's a 7-day change of 67%. That means smart money token balances have almost doubled for this token. It was even higher at one point. So buy, I've been flagging as a potential AI outperformer, and then in the last day or so it's doubled and hit all-time highs. Another one, INS, which is newer, has started to see smart accumulation again after a little bit of consolidation. We'll look into the token itself in a second. Smart money has liked Ondo. The price hasn't worked yet, but at least based on the accumulation trends, we should be getting there. And yeah, I mean, it's just an easy way to see, okay, where is profit taking happening in some of these AI coins? Like NQAI, kind of surprising that smart money token balances have been trending down both 30 and 7 days. Things like C-Pool, on the other hand, really big jump. So 500% increase in smart token balances in the last 30 days. Now 400K of smart holdings. So smart accumulation. So this is just looking at token balances, right? So I kind of talked about how on the insight page or the home page, you can see inflows and what people are buying, but you don't have the context of, is 40K of buys on Spiro a lot? Versus here, you can see the percentage increase in their actual token balance holdings. So it's irrespective of price. So the one we were talking about was C-Pool. So over the last 30 days, the token balance held by smart money C-Pool is up 507%. That is smart money accumulation, right? Like their token balances are going up. Whether it's buys or transfers in, they are holding a lot more of this token than they were 30 days ago. And that is interesting. Same thing with XRT. This is actually probably, so book market, the current price is 8.9. This is like you're looking for anomalies too, right? Like 9%, 10%, whatever. Like these things will all fluctuate because there's between 800 and 1,000 smart money traders within the chainEDGE system before Solana. But a doubling in smart holdings on XRT, for example, is quite notable. So that's like something that would catch my eye on a 7-day basis, a more than doubling. MOG is another one. So those are the real big bright spots like I see in the current data. MOG with just over the last week, a 247% increase in smart holdings on MOG. And eventually you'll be able to put a lot more filters on here, but you can also filter these by token age, which is really nice for trying to find kind of newer tokens that people aren't yet paying attention to. Maybe not. Here we go. So this is 10 days old tokens or less, and I can see where is smart money actually holding any of this. I think AIUS is the favorite. Oh, Axon DAO, and then AIUS. ASTX actually had a lot of smart ownership, but they have definitely soured on the 404 meta. The smart money ownership on anything other than Pandora is quite low. So you see, so right there, you're like, okay, what are some new tokens I should look at? It's like Blue, 50K of smart ownings, not that interesting. Spiro is seeing a lot of accumulation, so that actually could be interesting, especially at a 1.6 million FDV. ASTX, severe smart money selling, down 90% over the last 7 days. AIUS kind of mixed with mostly outflows in the last day. So that's kind of the easy way of how you can read and manipulate this page. We'll add more filters for things like volume and liquidity coming up in one of the next releases, but that's another workflow I really like. So you can look for outliers. So now so we can cut it another way. This is filtered just by smart balances, and you can see like what stands out, like MND a little bit, Palm kind of, AGRS was still strong the last 30 days, but there's some selling. But yeah, I mean, in general, you're seeing, like, if you had to summarize this in one sentence, you could do the same for distribution changes are -1 versus 7-day price is stable. So again, these are without price. So Pepe could go up 10x, and these are not moving based on the price. It's just the token balance. But yes, if they're down like Rollbit, that's relatively bearish. We've seen that kind of on P's, a little bearish in the last 7 days, but overall over 30 days, nothing crazy. VDO has actually been, the data's been pretty bearish, probably after such a big run up. You see 588% run up in the last 30 days. So I mean, it's tracking both accumulation and, people selling down their holdings, like Mubi, for example. But yeah, those are some of the easy, you don't have to spend a lot of time on them workflows. There's a lot of other things you can do. You can go to, top P&L trade details and see, who has made a lot of money on something recently, and then you can go and see what they're doing now. That approach, has some benefits and some not. Sometimes people just got lucky, and this was maybe one of their best trades yet. But that can work for some people. You can do the same thing for the leaderboard and just look at, our ranked traders based on 6-month realized P&L and follow them. The 404 season was very kind to the early movers. That's why you see a lot of the rocket emoji in the leaderboard now. For a while, it was a little more geared to snipers before ETH on chain season came back. But yeah, those are the easy ways to use the data without spending a bunch of time. For the current $60 a month, you should be able to make that in one trade using the data. And there's a lot of resources to make sure that you have success using it, including we've been doing these live streams on YouTube for at least 6 months, if not more. So unless there's more questions, I'll just keep blabbing. So I mentioned we'll have Solana data coming out here, hopefully by the 1st of March. In association with that, we'll actually be doing a little just data filter out mevbots. Yes, we don't, that's not, those aren't traders. So all the data is traders only. So a mevbot, you can't. So moving on. So with the launch of Solana data, we'll actually be doing a little bit of a hybrid trading competition. So all current chainEDGE subs, and then we'll be letting in a select few non-chainEDGE subs to try out the data for either 1 or 2 weeks. And between that, that whole group will have a full-blown trading competition. At the end of it, we'll run their P&Ls, and the overall winners will get paid. I think for first we're thinking 2 or 3 ETH, so it's actually a pretty decent win, especially for the chainEDGE subs that are already using it and making money. And then even for the people that will be in the trial bucket, you'll still, I think we'll take something like the top 5 or 10 and gift you a free sub if you're, just by being, a high rank within the kind of 2-week trial crew. So I think it'll be a lot of fun, especially because we'll have Solana data. So it doesn't matter what you use, whether it's Solana, ETH, Arbitrum, it doesn't matter. Because our trading terminal is not totally done yet. You can trade using whatever you want, but the competition will be on, and there will be a lot of money to be made for the top couple of people, and also free chainEDGE subs for the trial group. So I think in the next week or so, we'll put out a link where you can apply to be in the short list of people that get to use the site for free for a couple weeks and trade. Oh no, we're not going to just share everyone's entries. I mean, you can just use the chainEDGE data for that. But yeah, the competition will be a lot of fun, and I think if some of the winners are open to it, we'll probably even bring them onto one of these streams to have them talk about, you know, what how they use the data, what works for them, what chainEDGE flows. Even if like we've had some people who just use the swap summary and use that to trade centralized exchange coins, right? Like that's a little bit different, but you know, it's all about whatever strategy you want to do. Like, I don't have to tell you what strategy to use. You know, it's just find a way to match the data to your strategy and you know, make some money. So I think that'll be a lot of fun. Any other questions? Just joined. What'd you miss? We went over it. The stream is also recorded. It will be up on both Twitter and YouTube, so you can go back and watch it. I don't think I've been blabbing for too long. Yeah, only a half hour. When Solana comes out, we'll be able to look at the newer coins on Solana and have the full data. Yeah, I mean, you'll see their swap flows. Yeah, I mean, like, people will use it primarily for new coins, right? Like, so similar to how people use the alpha stream to find new coins or rotations. Like, you know, you'll see new coins kind of just pop up and lead the stream. And yes, good call there, Rapture. Prices will be going up the day we launch Solana data. So if you want to lock in $60 a month versus $80 a month, you should sign up now, because prices will be going up. When is the alpha membership live? The one that's a little bit, we have a lot of things to build first, but that's coming next. So that's what Anil's talking about is our custom bots and back testing offering, which will be really cool, where using not only smart money data, but just general on-chain data, volume data, and even social data, you can set up custom trading. So, you know, you're turning into almost a quant fund where you can back test, manipulate your alerts, what trading signals will ping your auto buying bot, whether it's a brand new token, it's a sniper, your sniping tokens, or whatever. Yes, I mean, we'll probably even beta test the alpha tier with some people in the regular tier, but we've got a little bit to go yet. Will the trading terminal also be live on Solana? Eventually. So first things first, the Solana data will come out. We will iterate on how people want to receive that data. If they like it just in the regular alpha stream, or if there's anything Solana specific they want to be able to do, we will do that. And then in the meantime, we'll also be shipping the kind of finishing touches on our, ETH trading terminal, which allows you to, if you haven't seen it, you can, when you're researching any of these tokens, and let's say you see something like Leash, which I think is an old SHIB ecosystem token, the Doge killer, of course. You could load the page in quickly, diligence the holders. Oh, actually, I'll do it on Inscribe. So I was talking about Inscribe at one point, so I haven't even went through the token page where you can see who's holding it, what the flows look like, the price performance, the volume, the token age. You get a quick security check to make sure nothing weird is going on. You can even use bubble maps to see distribution if it's weird. You can also see the top holders, make sure that nothing strange is going on here, so the holder distribution makes sense. And then there's also obviously a trading terminal where you can buy and sell MEV protected very fast, like sub 10 seconds. No, you don't have to click a bunch of approvals like you're using Uniswap. So this will be rolled out to all chainEDGE subs here over the next, hopefully by the end of March. I think it'll be completely rolled out. But yeah. And you can also, for these tokens, look at holdings over time, which is what the portfolio page is already doing for you and quantifying it. But if you want to see it in chart form, you can just click holdings over time and see what those trends look like. I believe this is when the price actually bottomed. And you can see since then, there's just been kind of pretty decent accumulation versus then. The holdings post LBP, and that's back when LBPs were cool, it was very high then. So any other questions? Pretty light on questions today. All right, if there's no other questions, we'll wrap it up there. Anil, I'll see you in the Discord. Timeline for broader terminal rollouts. So, like I said, the ETH terminal, we're doing rounds of beta testing with chainEDGE subs, and there's forms to get involved with that. The hope is the entire ETH trading terminal, like you see right here, which again is super, super easy to use, will be out by the end of March, is the hope. So, and then after that, we'll roll out Solana data. So you'll have, when you're looking at a Solana token, you'll have the same exact thing. So you're getting the best of both worlds, where you have good smart money data, you're looking at trends, you can check security, and you can buy the token all in one place. And it's extremely seamless. Yeah, and I mean, the people that are using it now, there's not too many. We probably have 20 people beta testing right now. Absolutely love the speed and execution of the trading infrastructure. We have also rolled that out into these Telegram alerts. So for the degens that like to get, alerts, like I have one just for degen new launch. It just tells me when something comes out. So AI girlfriend, I don't know. But if you saw this, you go and check the socials, you're like, I definitely need to own AI girlfriend token. There will be buy and sell buttons right here. What are you wearing? Yeah, so I'm wearing a, is there a YouTube homework tutorial so I can go away and learn everything? We've done a lot of these. So if you go to the chainEDGE YouTube, there's, we've done a lot of these live streams. And most of them will just focus on the workflows, but you can also ask questions in the Discord. I think I recently shared some of my favorite alerts, which are by no means perfect, but they will catch the mega runners. So there's a lot of stuff there. There's also documentation in our JIT book, so you can also look at that as well. But yeah, I mean, so even for these alerts, so I like to trade from Telegram more than Terminal. So having the ability to just auto, if I see anything in here where it comes through and I'm like, oh, I've actually been waiting on that launch, I could just quickly click buy. I could just buy it right here. Especially on new launches, it's a matter of, like if you're 30 seconds later to buying, the token could have already doubled. And so having that speed and ease of use, and we're going to clean up these alerts a little bit to have more actionable information. Info and exiting a trade. That is the most difficult part. It very much depends on, somebody had a really good tweet recently, but I'd say 90% of tokens go through, let's assume it's not going to go to zero. 90% of tokens, and you even saw it with something like Pandora, go through two phases. And that is a little bit of the, just make sure, see if I can pull it out. Of course, I have RDPX saved. Rest in peace, rebate Dopex. So I always try to think about, oh my gosh, Pandora, come on. I try to think about where the token is in basically three different phases. So one, come on. Every token when it launches, there's so many tools and there's so many people trying to be early that every token has this just super duper pump and dump right in the beginning. Happens almost every time, no matter what it is. If you're early enough to that and sell, you're going to have a great time. You can even see it did happen in Pandora's. Then what happens is, the snipers and all these early movers will unload, and then, there's a bit of a changing of the hands situation for a real token like Pandora. So the first two frameworks are, okay, if I'm buying it this early, you want to sell into the super duper, everyone's trying to trade this thing, brand new pump. Then people lose interest, and the loss interest period sometimes can last months. We saw that on Whirl. Whirl's an example of the same exact thing. So Whirl, which is like a privacy bridge, privacy DEX, all this stuff, they had an even way more dramatic pump. People lost interest. Snipers took profit. A lot of people left it. It was left for dead for at least a month. And now I think it's back to all-time highs, and it looks just like Pandora. So one, you have to trade pretty tight in that first day. Then you can use something like the portfolio summary to find the second leg. Because even for Pandora, we saw smart money buying it this whole time in here, and it's like, okay, and then obviously it takes off. So to answer your question, to find an exit, you'll see the flow start going negative relatively early when, smart money kind of deems the first launch pump to be over. So you could sell then. If you really like the project, you just don't over ape, and you actually just wait for this to play out, and then you can come in later and then wait for smart money holdings to start flowing out. So you'll see that on the portfolio summary. I mean, we've seen outflows on Pandora they probably started like here. And actually since it around this level, we've actually seen them accumulating again. So that's kind of how I think about it. And then the third thing is know where your token sits in the attention cycles framework. So just ask yourself, is this token at its maximum attention? So for most of the 404s that were launching, they were probably at maximum attention because 404s were already at their maximum attention. There was a lot of 404s that were launching with Pandora at 30,000, and they were going crazy. And it's like, okay, but are these really going to perform well with all of the attention on them, all the money flowing at them, or is this the absolute top? Which I talked about at the Daily Edge. It was the absolute top. So those are kind of the three ways I think about exits, because it also ties into entries. But yeah, when you see things like the Mubi, where's Mubi on here? when you see just smart balances continuing to trend down, it's usually, I've seen some examples where it can be a sign of just, you know, exhaustion. Like it just goes down so much and people are just so over it going down that it can pump again. But usually you'll see some sort of buys. We even saw that on SAVM, despite everything that project went through. There's a time where the smart holdings were down, 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 and then we started seeing pings that it was going back. You know, smart money is coming back in, and it actually bounced from there. So, but hopefully that answers your question. Anything else? All right, well, if anyone has any questions, if you're a chainEDGE sub, you can obviously get into the Discord. You can ask me there. I am in there all day long trying to help people build strategies around our data to make money. If you're not, you can always just DM me on Twitter, and I will, try to help you out or give you some guidance, etc. But thank you all for joining. I hope this has been details on the comp. I kind of talked about the comp. I talked about the trading competition to come. There will be some amount of users that get in for free, and we'll give them free access for a week or 2 weeks. So they'll have to grind, and they'll have a lot of questions. We'll put them into a separate little, trial training camp area of the Discord to talk through strategies. But it will also be fun for people that are on the fence, or they don't. You see me talk about the data, but they don't have their hands on it, so they can't see, how it would work into their workflow. I think it will be very helpful. Start dates, hopefully March 1st. So March 1st is when it should kick off. And then sometime in the 5 to 7 days before then, we will announce the trading competition is coming. We'll have people... We'll have a form where you can fill out to get added to the list. It will be a select number of people, so we're not going to let like 1,000 people in, but we may let in a few hundred people to come in, use it for free, see if they put in the actual effort to build a strategy around it, how they do. But anyway, we'll wrap it up there. I've taken enough time. If you have questions, don't hesitate to reach out. This is also probably will stay recorded on both YouTube and Twitter. So if you came in late or want to go back and listen to any part of it, you can very easily. So thank you all and have a great day.